So, Newcastle 2, Manchester United 1. We've just suffered our first defeat. Away at St James's Park is always a tough game. And yeah, we really made it tough. Like I said, I haven't fully watched the past two games we've played. But I heard before the red card last game, we struggled massively. And, we took advantage of the red card, just like we did against Spurs, and managed to play well and win the game. But this time, we definitely didn't, because I was watching and we just could not string a pass together. And none of the front four were clicking. I know Casemiro scored. I think he was having a poor game. There's one thing you could say about Newcastle, as poor as they've been recently, their midfield on their day is one of the best in the league. I mean, last season it definitely was. Over the stretch of the past couple of seasons, yeah, you could argue they have the best midfield in the league. The most complete, if that makes sense. And yeah, they were at full strength today, and they completely overran our midfield. I think Mainu can be really sloppy defensively sometimes. I am going to be a bit harsh on him today. I think you give him the benefit of the doubt now and again, but when you go down to 10 men, I can't give you the benefit of the doubt. We've gone so many games unbeaten now, and we've done so well. And, if we'd pulled a draw out of the game, yeah, you could walk away and go, St James's Park, 1-1, you take it. But, to be honest, when they went down to 10 men, we should have capitalised and held onto the ball a lot better. I saw a stat pop up during the game that not long after the red card, probably 5-10 minutes, that Newcastle had 69% possession of the ball, which, when you go a man down, shouldn't be happening. I can understand if it's about 50-50. Being at home, they can still use their home advantage and overpower us, as they were doing up until that red card. And even afterwards, we never looked like we had control of the game. And I think Bruno, he's always been a leader for us. He's pulled us out of many games. He's been fantastic this season. Fantastic many seasons. But there are sometimes games where the game's not going his way, and he does start to... There was a time where Cunha had the ball and Bruno was making a run on the left-hand side, like an overlapping run. And he was waiting, and it was a bit of miscommunication, but I don't think it was Cunha's fault. If anything, it was probably Bruno's fault. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know what was said between them. But, yeah, it's just disappointing, man. Just really wasn't good enough. I'll start with substitutions. Ugarte is not good enough to play for Manchester United. There was a bit towards the end. He had the ball. He had enough time to just turn around and make a pass. And he just tries to look going forward. He then brings it inside. Goes to pass back, just slips and falls on the ball, and he's just sloppy. He never looks to pass forward, and he's not a good player at all. There's no way he can play in midfield. He wouldn't even start for Cardiff, for God's sake. And they're playing in League One, and he's awful. He's dreadful. He's the worst player I've seen in a Manchester United uniform, by far. And we have no firepower off the bench. Yeah, we brought Ahmad on, which I thought probably brought him on a bit too late. And not starting Ahmad, I mean, I've been calling for Sesko to start, right? It worked last game. But the problem with starting Sesko is we do lose that out-and-out winger. I've talked about it before. He's our only winger that actually hugs the touchline, proper gives him a go. I'm not saying Cunha can't beat a man, because he did it. He's the one who got Trippier booked. And the same with Mbeumo, he can also beat a man. But they're not like... It's hard to explain, but you know what I mean. If you watch Mbeumo play and Cunha play, you should know exactly what I mean. He's more explosive, Ahmad, and he's an actual winger, whereas the other two are inside forwards. And I think we've got a real problem on our hands now. I've got a solution which I think would work pretty well. I'm gonna talk about it more in depth in another video, but I do think in the future there can be a way in which we can start all five of them. And when I say all five, I mean Sesko, Cunha, Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Bruno Fernandes. But yeah, I'll get onto that in another video. Right now, I just want to give my thoughts on the game. And yeah, Malacia came on. Haven't seen him play properly in over 2 years, really. I mean, no one knew what happened to the guy. He could have been dead for all I knew. He was off social media. There was no pictures of him in training. I mean, he must have had some personal things going on. So I hope it's nothing too bad. But he was a Ten Hag signing, and the problem we've got is we struggle to get rid of players because we put them on high wages, and we've just been buying slop after slop. And then there's no one who really wants to buy them or pay for them, so we send them on loan, and then we got a real problem on our hands. And yeah, Malacia, he was okay when we got him, but he hasn't really been playing. And the defending on the last goal was absolutely shocking. I mean, we struggled all game to contain the ball in their half. I think Newcastle did really well every time they were under pressure to get the ball out into midfield, in behind us. We were sloppy, missing tackles, getting megged. I mean, Luke Shaw, I think he got megged once, and Casemiro missed a tackle, and Mainu misplacing passes, and they were constantly just getting through on goal. And for the goal, Malacia, I'll have to watch it back, but I'm pretty sure he was showing him on the wrong foot. You've got to do your homework. This guy's a lefty, wants to cut in, and he gives him so much room to go on the inside. And don't get me wrong, it was an amazing finish. Had the keeper flat-footed. I thought he was unsavable. When I saw the replay, maybe he could have got there, but I think the way he hit it, he just, planted Le Mans. But there's no way I'm blaming Le Mans for that, because it was atrocious defending. He gave him way too much space, and no matter, even if you're right-footed, you still show him that down the touchline. That is just how you play as a fullback, really. Yeah, you can play them on their weak foot. That's one way of dealing with it. But to be honest, you don't really want them coming inside when you're playing it. If you square up and you've got a striker or a central attacking midfielder and you're a centre back, you show them on their weak foot, right? But most of the time, you want them going down the byline. It was just a poor defending. And who else came on? Xerxes. I mean, I'm a big fan of Xerxes. I am. I do think there's a player there. The problem is, I don't know where he fits in the squad. I mean, he's not someone you want to come off the bench to change a game. To score a goal, that is. He could definitely change the game. He holds the ball up well. He plays some good passes. He is a good player. I think in Amarin's system he sort of worked, because we had 2 10s and a striker. But he can't play on the wing. He could probably do a job in 10, but we've got Bruno, and if not, we've got someone like Cunha to play there. So yeah, we lack that Ollie off the bench. Obviously we've been having Sesko off the bench, but with Sesko's form, you want to start him. But maybe we just have to be a bit more raw, and maybe it's either Mbeumo or Sesko, and one of them plays, the other one doesn't. So then we get Ahmad to start. I mean, we're lacking the wingers. We've got no winger depth. I was just at the pub with one of my mates, and he sat next to us, one of the older guys, and he's a United fan. And I was saying to him, remember that kid, that Sean Lacey kid who played under Fletcher while Mbeumo was away at AFCON? And he was like, yeah, he hit the crossbar, didn't he, as soon as he came on? Yeah, he looked lively. The 2 games he played, I think it was 2 or 3, every time he got the ball, looked to do something. Bit of youth, bit of legs, bit of desire. And, this United team hasn't lacked desire since Carrick's come in. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh because it's just one game, but the fact that they were down to 10 men is why I'm so angry, to be honest. But yeah, we need some depth on the bench. And Sean Lacey, he's a young, bright, ballsy player, which we could have used today. Oh, I know we had Ahmad coming off the bench, but we need a striker coming off the bench. I know Sean Lacey isn't a striker, but the point I'm trying to say is we got no firepower. We got no one to replace in midfield. Our starting midfield is good. We got no one to come in. We haven't got a backup 8. We haven't got a backup 6. I mean, we've got a backup 10, but that's Cunha, and then we haven't got a backup left wing. So really, right? Let's say the starting 11. Usual starting 11, right? I'm going to go with today's starting 11, right? You've got no backup striker. You've got a backup right winger. You've got no backup left winger. You've got no backup 10, because I'm not including Cunha coming in. I'm just saying, like if you were to swap them, right? No backup 10. Mount, you can say what you want to say about Mount, but he's a bit like Xerxes. Don't really know where'd you play him, because he works hard off the ball. Yeah, when he played well in that Champions League run under Tuchel for Chelsea, I think he got Player of the Year. He was playing in like a left 10, which suits it in Amarin's system. In our system, don't suit him. He's not a left winger because he's not skillful enough and lethal enough in front of goal, or, he hasn't got, he's okay technically, but he works hard off the board, yes. But I wouldn't say he's a 10 either. I don't think he's creative enough, really. There's not really a place for him, and he's on big wages. So once again, go back to the wage bill, trying to get rid of players. Now, I do like Mount as a player, but there's not really room for him in the squad. So yeah, we've got no one to replace the 10, right? Xerxes, maybe. But he even said himself, he's a 9.5. What the hell's a 9.5? Like, yeah, I think you'd be a 10 if anything. But what I'm gonna class it as no backup 10, right? No backup 8, none. There's not one backup 8 that I can put in the squad. I can think of. Right, you got maybe Fletcher, but he's a young kid. I'm on about squad players to play. Central defensive midfielder, Ugarte. Probably the worst backup player you can have in the Premier League in a position. He is awful. Backline, backup left back for sure, is Malacia. Barely played. Don't really rate him that highly. Not going to get far. Obviously, we have Dorgu when he's fit. Probably the starting left back, to be honest. But then, to be honest, we've been trying to get rid of Shaw for ages. I know Shaw's been decent in this run, but realistically, if we want to move forward as a squad, Shaw should be going from the team. He's been there too long. Injury problems. Centre halves. This is our strongest position, centre halves, I'd say. We've got, if they stay fit, that's obviously another argument. But we've got De Ligt, Martinez, Maguire, Euro, Heaven. Solid backline in my opinion. That's the only position I'd say in the summer that we don't need a backup for. Don't need to strengthen in. I'd keep all 5 of them personally. I think that's a good rotation of central defenders. Right back. Well, Mazraoui doesn't really offer much, does he? He puts in a 6 or 7 out of 10 every game, but that's it. But it's Manchester United, for God's sake, and if we want to be transitioning into a title, competing team, getting into Champions League, I'm sorry, I don't think he's good enough. Maybe I'm being harsh. I'd probably have him. He's good defensively, and he's pretty calm on the ball. But I don't think he was pretty bad today. He hasn't played much, to be fair to him, this season. But he's one of our best players last season. I'll give him that. So no, I am being harsh. I'm using my head a bit. Yeah, I'm being harsh. Deep down, I've always thought Mazraoui was okay to be in a squad, right? Dalot. Problem with Dalot, he's a squad player as well. So I can't have both of them as squad players. So one of them's got to go. I think it's Dalot. I think he's been here too long now. He's had his time to. He's got to go, right? He's been okay recently, but look, if we want to move forward, progress, he's got to go, right? Keeper, we have a backup, but once again, Boyanda, who pretty shit, to be honest. And obviously Heaton, but he's there just in the background for the locker room, isn't he? So realistically, in the summer, we need 2 wingers, a striker, a number 10, a number 8, and number 6. We need 2 6s. We need a backup 10, possibly an 8/10 that can do both. And we need 2 6s. We need like an Anderson and then someone backup as well, because we haven't got anyone. So that's like 4 players in midfield, let's say. New left back, new right back. That's 6 players. At least 2 wingers to go either side or whatever. At least. And then at least 1 striker. So you're talking 7 at the front, 4 in midfield. You're 3 at the front, 4 in midfield. That's 7. Plus the 2 either side. That's 9 players we need. 9 players. And we need to ship out some of the old rubbish as well. But yeah, that's it from the game from me, to be honest. Look, all in all though, to round off the video, it's not terrible. Liverpool lost to Wolves. Chelsea won 4-1 against Villa. Now, Villa were obviously right up our arse as well, but obviously so Chelsea. So it's not the worst result. I would prefer a draw. But yeah, we've now got to just look to the weekend and try and get a result now. Look, you do lose some, but I'm just pretty angry with the way we played and going down to 10 men and not capitalising. So yeah.